Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss inorganic chemistry topic, that is metal ligand bonding. According to Bangalore University and Bangalore Central University, I am discussing the topics. So first, if you look at the Bangalore University or Bangalore Central University, the syllabus is the second unit inorganic chemistry syllabus is this is whatever I have displayed. This is the syllabus. According to the syllabus, we will discuss the topics. First, let us discuss the crystal field theory. So before going to start the crystal field theory, we will see the introduction and historical development of this metal complexes and also the theories of metal complexes. In 1799, Tezat discovered cobalt amine complexes. In 1893, Werner gave coordination theory based on primary and secondary valence. In 1927, Sidgwick introduced concept of coordinate bond and EAN. In 1935, Pauling and Slater gave valence bond theory. In 1929, Breathe gave CFT and further developed by Van Vleck in 1932. In 1935, Van Vleck gave LFT, ligand field theory. So this is a little bit introduction about the theories, bonding theories. Now, coming to our topic, that is crystal field theory. What are the salient features of crystal field theory? So, first salient feature is central metal atom is surrounded by ligands to form complex. Second salient feature is type of ligand, point charges, point dipoles. So the anionic ligands are acts as point charges. The neutral ligands are acts as dipoles. Third postulation is the bonding between metal cation and ligand arises due to electrostatic interaction. Thus, the bond between metal and ligand is purely ionic. Fourth postulation, the interaction between electron of the metal cation and those of the ligand is entirely repulsive. These repulsive forces are responsible for the splitting of d orbital of the metal cation. Fifth postulation, the d orbital which are degenerate in free metal ion have their degeneracy destroyed by the approach of the ligand during the formation of ligand. So whatever we have discussed these salient features, I will explain now. So before going to explain, let us know the shapes of d orbitals. We know that there are 5 d orbitals, that is dxy, dxz, dyz orbital and dx square minus of y square and dz square orbitals. These orbitals, these 5d orbitals grouped as T2g set and also EG set. T2g set is dxy, dxz and dyz orbitals. Here the lobes of the orbitals are oriented between the axes. If you look at here, all the lobes in these orbitals, the oriented between the coordinate axis. Hence, these 3 orbitals we group as T2g set. And EG set, these 2 orbitals are grouped as EG set. So the orbitals are dx square minus of y square and dz square. So these 2 orbitals, the lobes of the orbitals oriented along the axis. If you look at the lobes of these orbitals, the lobes are oriented along the axis. So we will discuss the crystal field splitting in an octahedral geometry. How the 5d orbitals will split in the presence of octahedral geometry. So let us take there are 5d orbital. So there are 5d orbitals in a free metal ion. So whenever the ligands approach to the metal ion, then there is a repulsion between the electrons of the metal ion and also the electronic charge of the ligand, that means negatively charge of the ligand. So that's why the energy of the orbitals increases whenever the repulsion occurs between the metal electrons of the metal and also the anionic charge of the ligand. Then the energy of these 5d orbitals are increases. Here also these 5d orbitals are degenerate state, degenerate orbitals. Here in free metal ion also degenerate. Here that means all the orbitals having same energy. Here also energy increases, but here also degenerate state retains, and the energy of these two, all the 5 orbitals are same. Now whenever the ligands are approached to the metal ion, now we are discussing octahedrally, octahedral field. Octahedral field means there are 6 ligands, there are 6 ligands. All these 6 ligands are approaching to the metal ion. How these 6 ligands are approaching to the metal ion? So look at this diagram. Okay, this is the ML6 complex, octahedral complex. If you look at here, all the 4 ligands are in plane, okay, and 2 ligands are perpendicular to this plane, okay, all the 4 ligands. And if you, these 2 ligands are along the z axis, z coordinate axis, and these all the 4 ligands along the x and also y coordinate axis. So now which are the orbitals having the lobes are along the axis? So the EG set orbitals having the lobes along the axis. So whenever the ligands are approaching along the axis, then the repulsion will be more. Why repulsion? Because of the electrons present in the metal ion and also the ligands. Okay, ligands, there is a repulsion. Hence, they increase in energy. That means increase in energy. Degeneracy removes and increase in energy taking place. So which are the orbitals that increases energy? EG set increases energy because repulsion is more in these 2 orbitals, whereas the EG set of orbitals, the T2G set of orbitals, in T2G set of orbitals, the lobes are between the axes. Here there is no ligand approaching between the axes. Hence, the energy of these 3 orbitals decreases. Whenever the repulsion is low, then automatically the energy will decreases. This is the T2G set energy. There are 3 orbitals, dxy, dyz, dxz orbitals, decreases energy, and the 2 orbitals, that is EG orbitals, increases energy. The difference between these 2 states, these 2 energy levels, is called as a delta naught. Delta naught is nothing but crystal field splitting energy or stabilization energy. So these T2G orbital decrease by 4 dq, or in terms of 10 dq, totally 10 dq. It is decreased by 4 dq and increased by 6 dq, or minus 2 by 3 delta naught in terms of delta naught, or 3 by 5 delta naught. So the center we called as a Barry center. So this is how the splitting of the d orbitals. There are the 5 d orbitals taking place in presence of ligands in octahedral field. Okay, first, free metal ion degenerate state. Whenever ligands approaches, there is a spherical field creates because of the ligands are approaching. Whenever the ligands are approaching octahedrally, then degeneracy removes. The orbitals are splits into a 2 sets. One is T2G and one more is EG. EG orbitals having higher energy, T2G orbitals are lower in energy. So this is how the 5d orbital splits in an octahedral field. Next, we'll see crystal field splitting in on tetrahedral geometry. How the crystal field splitting? Yes. Now the tetrahedral complexes are the second most common type. Here the four ligands form a tetrahedron around the metal ion. Arrange the ligands alternately in four corners of the cube. This arrangement would keep two ligands in the top of the face of the cube and two in the bottom of the face. Notice that in this arrangement, none of the ligands approach metal along the Cartesian coordinate. That is very important. Consequently, the orbitals lying along the axis. So, which are the, look at here. So, the coordinate axis, this is a z axis, x axis, and y axis, this direction. If you look at the tetrahedral geometry in a cube, so this is a metal ion. There are four ligands around this central metal ion. So all the four ligands between the coordinate axis. So now the ligands now approaching to a metal ion in tetrahedral manner, tetrahedrally. Now, which are the ligands that are between the axes? Which are the orbitals that are having the lobes having between the axes? That is T2G set. Now, T2G set is the lobes of T2G set are in between the axes. So that's why whenever the ligands are approached to the metal ion, the T2G set increases energy because the repulsion will be more. As we have discussed earlier in the case of octahedral, here the repulsion is more between the axes, whichever the lobes are oriented between the axes. Hence, the T2 set increases energy, and the other set, but that is E set, is decrease in energy because there are no ligands are approaching along the axis. Hence, decrease in energy taking place. Decrease in energy taking place. Here, the symmetry that is gerade and ungerade is removed. Okay, according to symmetry and point group theory. So we have removed those two terms, gerade and also ungerade. Again, the difference between the energy is again delta T. Here it is a delta T. Okay. T means tetrahedral, delta means crystal field stabilization energy or splitting energy, delta T in tetrahedral field. Again, the 3 by 5, whichever the orbitals, that is lower energy, lowered by 3 by 5 delta T, and increased by 2 by 5 delta T. So if you look at this splitting, if you observe, this is exactly opposite to that of the octahedral field. So that means this is octahedral splitting, this is tetrahedral splitting. There are 5d orbitals. There are 5d orbitals splitting into two energy levels, two sets. Okay, two sets. That is, here there are three orbitals, that is T2G set and also EG set. Here also E and T2 set. Here T2G is lower by energy because no ligands are approaching between the axes. Here the EG is lower energy because no ligands are approaching along the axis, along the coordinate axis. Hence, dx square minus of y square, dz square will decrease energy, whereas dxy, yz, dxz will be increasing energy. And also, if you look at the separation, CFSC, between these two cases, in octahedral, there is more CFSC compared to a tetrahedral because of here there is a 100% overlap occurs between the ligand and also the orbitals of the metal. Here it is not exact 100% of overlap. It is less than 100% overlap. Hence, that means whichever the ligands are approaching almost nearly that between the axis. That's why less than 100% overlapping taking place in the case of tetrahedral. Hence, the energy difference will be will be less compared to a octahedral geometry. Next, we will discuss a crystal field splitting in on square planar field. How the square planar? Assume this square planar geometry. Now, in square planar geometry, there are four ligands, only four ligands. Assume that there is no these two ligands. There is no these two ligands. In square planar geometry, there are four ligands, all are in plane. That means all are along the x and also y coordinate axis. All the ligands are approaching along the x and also y coordinate axis. There is no ligands along the z axis. Hence, there is no repulsion between the z axis, between the metal and ligand along the z axis. Whereas there is a repulsion along the x and also y coordinate axis. Hence, you have say in octahedral geometry how we have splitting will takes place. This is how this splitting will taking place because the ligands are approaching along the axis. So which are the ligands? That is each set of ligands are approaching along the axis. In square planar geometry, remove the ligands along the z axis. There is no ligands along the z axis. Hence, the z components will decrease in energy. Only dx square minus of y square and orbital will increase in energy because all the four ligands are approaching along the dx square minus of 4 lobes of dx square minus of y square orbitals. Okay, next, the whatever the xy components are increases in energy, remaining z components dz square, dxz, dyz decreases in energy. This is octahedral crystal field. So again, in square planar geometry, this is how the splitting will taking place. Okay, the delta naught is dx square dxy to dx square minus of y square. We call it as a delta naught. Okay, so this is the crystal field splitting in a square planar geometry. That means in square planar geometry, results when two ligands on the z axis on octahedron are removed from the complex, leaving only ligands in xy plane. As the z ligands move away, the ligands in the square plane move a little closer to the metal. Okay, the orbital splitting diagram for square planar coordination can thus be derived from the octahedral diagram. As ligands move away along the z-axis, d orbital with a z component will fall in energy. The dz square orbital falls the most as its electrons are concentrated in lobes along the z-axis. The dxz and yz orbitals also drop in energy, but not as much. Conversely, the dx square minus of y square and dxy orbitals increase in energy. The splitting diagram for square planar complex is more complex than that of for octahedral and also tetrahedral complexes. So this is how splitting. So how do you remember the splitting? So whatever the xy components, that is xy components are dx square minus of y square, dxy orbitals increase in energy, and the z components, whatever the z components are there, that is dz square orbital, dxz, dyz orbitals decrease in energy taking place. Now, crystal field splitting in on trigonal bipyramidal complexes. If you look at this diagram, this is a trigonal bipyramidal geometry. So here there are two ligands along the z coordinate axis and remaining three ligands. Out of three ligands, two ligands are along the dx square minus of y square, and one ligand is between the coordinate axis, that is between dxy oriented along the dxy orbital. So whichever the ligands along the z coordinate axis, that means there are two ligands are approaching along this axis, z axis, hence the energy of dz square orbital increases. Remaining two orbitals, here there are remaining two ligands are approaching along the dx square minus of y square orbital. So hence the energy of dx square minus of y square increases, and this is the ligand that is along the dxy orbital. So hence the dxy also increases energy compared to dxz and also yz, because so it is completely decreases in energy because there are no ligands are along the dxz and also dyz orbitals. Hence these two orbitals are decreases energy, whereas here the repulsion is strong along these compared to these two ligands. Hence a little bit energy decreases here, hence the energy of these z square orbital increases here. So this is how the splitting of the 5d orbitals taking place in the TBP geometry. Next, last crystal field system is square pyramidal complexes. If you look at here, this is how the square pyramidal complexes will look. Here there are four ligands. Assume that now there how the crystal field splitting will taking place in the case of square planar. So here there are four ligands and one are along the dx square minus of y square orbital, and only one ligand that is along the dz square orbital. So now there are these are the four ligands. Four ligands are approaching. Compare, this is only one ligand. Hence, the energy of these is the energy of dz square orbital little bit less compared to dx square minus of y square. Here the repulsion is more. Why repulsion is more? Because there are four ligands are approaching along dx square minus of y square orbitals. Hence repulsion is more. Hence the energy of these two orbitals, this dx square minus of y square orbital is more. And only one ligand is approaching along the z axis, hence the energy here also increases, but compared to dx square minus of y square it is a little bit less. So there are two orbitals, that is increases energy. Remaining, look at here, xy component having little bit higher energy compared to xz and yz, because along the z direction, z coordinate axis, there is a least repulsion of the hence you will observe a decrease in energy of these orbitals will taking place. So this is about the crystal field splitting in a square pyramidal complexes. So here I have given all the geometries, the splitting of d orbital in all the geometries. So this is x, y, and also z coordinate axis. So in octahedral, how the splitting is taking place. So that means I am concluding my session. So in octahedral field, the 5d orbital splits into two sets, that is dxy, dyz, dxz, and we call it as a t2g set. One more is egz, that is dz square and also dx square minus of y square. Two sets. Here in tetrahedral, exactly opposite to that of octahedral, that is e set, t2 set. So, t2 set. E set dz square and dx square minus of y square orbital, and t2 set dxy, yz, dxz orbitals. This is how this splitting will taking place. In trigonal bipyramidal geometry, so we know that there are two ligands are approaching along the z axis, hence dz square orbital, and dx square minus of y square dxy. One ligand approaching along dxy, and two ligands approaching dx square minus of y square, and there is no ligands approaching along the yz and also xz, hence less energy. This is how splitting will taking place in the TBP geometry. In square pyramidal, dx square minus of, that means four ligands are approaching along the dx square minus of y square. Only one ligand approaching dz square, and rest all the orbitals, that is dxy, dyz, dxz orbitals decreases in energy. This is how the splitting of the square pyramidal geometry. Last, square planar geometry. Square planar means only 4 ligands. Those all the 4 ligands are overlap along the dx square minus of y square orbital, and hence the xy components are a little bit increased, and z component there are no ligands along the z axis. Hence, all these z component orbitals are decreases in energy. So this is about the crystal field splitting in all the geometry according to Bangalore University and Bangalore Central University. We have discussed. Tomorrow, next session, we will discuss the other concepts of this unit. Thank you very much.